is left in the following his lead directly, and the last person in line erasing the tracks with a branch. So it looks like it's just natural stuff.
Then they won't see us here. It'll be downstream. Anybody say nay on that?
Nay. 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 Nay.
So one thing
Can't hear you over the sound of this bubbling brook.
Yeah, Tate goes over and joins you, and there's another little waterfall going down.
Oh
Alright, let's see. Should I roll a nature roll to see how long it takes?
no!
Wow.
I hate you so much.
So Gilruth is going to take one of these sort of leather armor, and he's going to come. He's going to do a thing. Where is he? Where am I? Let's see. Come on. There we go. Okay. So he's going to come over. Come on. There. He's going to come over here, and he's going to toss one of the leather armors down the stream.
Okay. So that would be Tate's leather armor. So both Tate and Elfie no longer have their armor. They both are armed with crossbows.
So one of the things Gilruth did was he tossed, like, the first armor was his armor.
Could be my armor because I'm not wearing it. I mean, I can take it off. I have the leather armor that doesn't do me any good.
Yeah, that was my plan. Was the first armor that Gilruth had set up in the jungle further down? That was good. This one is going to be mobile, so that way this suit of this leather armor gets carried down the waterfall and down the river and down the waterfall.
Okay.
So it makes it look like they tried to take a jump, but failed.
So you got rid of Movek's leather armor, and then who was the other person?
Mine.
Okay, so Tate and Elfie still... Actually, no, Elfie left his on the other side. He dropped his and didn't want to carry it anymore. But Tate is actually wearing his leather armor, and they both have crossbows still. So are you going to advance into the jungle further, or follow the river, or what direction did you want to go?
We're going further into the jungle.
I would like to take the back, and like he was saying, clear out the path behind us. And I don't know if you would want me to roll stealth for that or sleight of hand for cleaning up the
Survival, I think. Maybe.
Survival is generally what I would say. I can see stealth being a roll. If you wanted to roll that, I would not be opposed, because that's something that you're physically trying to do to be stealthy. So you could
I would prefer stealth, which is why I asked for stealth.
Yeah, I'll give you stealth.
Cool. 21.
Okay, so you disappear into the jungle. The sound of rushing water is forever present as you progress through. Everything seems to get a little hotter as you are ducking underneath foliage, stepping over large roots. There is a big, vast, sunken pit that Gilruth is, again, depthfully able to avoid, and you would know this to be basically a quicksand pit. And if you had gotten in there at all, it would have been very bad.
So, does anybody else have armor that they don't need? That would be Zalan. Are you able to use the armor you grabbed, or no?
No. She would be wearing it just for the sake of wearing it, but she can't actually use it.
So, seeing the quicksand, he's going to have Zalana toss her armor into the quicksand.
Okay.
After they make it look like, I'm going to try. You said it would be deception to make it look humanoid.
Yeah, you could roll. I would say you could do a deception or a sleight of hand. I would give you either of those.
I feel like my sleight of hand is better, so we're gonna go with sleight of hand instead.
Okay. So yes, you're able
Pick
to.
up Elfie and I look over and I go, oh.
Put me
and
down.
Delana turns around and she she's not anywhere near the sand pit, but she's like, oh my god, I'm sinking, and like slowly like brings herself towards the ground to see if she can make him panic.
Okay. Did you actually try to pick up Elfie?
Yeah, I just kind of lifted him up, and I was like, yeah, no.
Okay. He as soon as you put him down, he bolts off into the jungle.
Elfie, get back here!
Fucking idiot.
It was just a joke, buddy.
You're gonna die! Oh lord.
Well, it looks like we're better off now then, I guess, right?
The armor think it's like semi-submerged where you can still see part of the armor, but you won't be able to see whoever's.
Yeah, it looks like somebody had like gotten stuck into it and it got sunk down, and there's just like the back of the back plate and the helmet's kind of tucked in together. It looks like there's a body in the quicksand.
Excellent. And as they travel, he's setting up snares, like vine snares, along the path.
Does anyone go after Elfie or no?
It
doesn't sound like
yeah.
See where he got up to.
So, yes, you can see
Somebody go off.
what direction that he's running. He's running deeper into the jungle.
I'll go.
Somebody, I'll go too, I guess. Just, I mean,
will lead the way to keep them from hitting any
keep it
dead
safe.
reflect. So survival.
You hear a yelp not too far ahead as something happens to Elfie.
Oh no.
Elfie, where are you?
Elfie,
I'm
we're
so
coming.
sorry.
Hold on,
Where are you?
I need to pull up some stats on my other computer. 1 second.
Sure.
Well,
I'll be helping.
Oh, perfect.
Keep screaming. We'll find you.
You hear a very girlish scream, and let's see. Did it roll? I don't think it rolled.
18.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll go with the first one. You hear this very girlish scream, and then it stops in mid-scream, and there's nothing.
Oh no.
It's like, squelch.
Oh, did he just get eaten?
Let's see, Gilrith, with your perception, you would know not necessarily what's happened, but you can tell up ahead is you're getting out of the quicksand area, but it's turned into more of an actual swamp, so the ground is a lot more liquid and fluid. It's like submerged beneath the forest floor. You're in like a big swampy puddle. It's probably like not an underground lake, but it's for the next like probably full mile on. It's just like watery ground, very liquid.
Ugh.
Can I do a perception check?
Mhm.
See if I see him anywhere or anything about him?
Yep, so you can look specifically for him. You can roll perception.
Going to roll any perception to help?
Yep. I think Tate, by the way, he probably would have stayed behind until... Did all three of you go in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, he'd probably be trailing Looser behind. Like, he doesn't want to go, but he doesn't want to stay by himself. So he's like, back here. I'll put Elfie back on the screen. Because I don't have a battle map for this, so I'm just gonna do this. So Elfie like went off this direction. Gurith and Movik, and I presume Mackenzie, are you... Why does it say Mackenzie again? You know, I think I copied the wrong ones. Sorry.
And
It's all good.
can I
Yeah,
yell
I'm
for
going
Tate to come with us too, to make sure he's not left by himself?
He's not. He's behind at a safe distance. Basically, he's following you guys. Just doesn't want to be close to anything.
Okay, cool.
He's basically.
Hey, you keep watch. You keep watch back there. Don't let anything come up behind us because
He's
things like to pop up from behind.
He's covering the
And
jungle
those
like
tend
with
to
his
be more
crossbow.
deadly than if you're closer with the group. Dumbass.
Okay, so those are the two new perception checks, right? So Growth, you rolled 20 again, and Movik's 11.
I roll another 20.
Okay, so Movik, you don't see anything. You can kind of notice the scenery has changed a little bit. Everything's a little bit more soggy and wet, and a lot more condensation over all the leaves. The sun is kind of blotted out by the amount of green above your heads. Gilrith, you are again familiar with this terrain, and so you're scanning the ground. Based off what you heard, there's something probably in the pool. You see Elfie's torso is halfway up into the water, and his arms are floating, or they're like floating on the water level by his sides, and his chest and torso and arms are just kind of like there looking up at the sky. And you see water ripples from below something underneath.
He's going to use his long scorpion staff to like pull him back.
Who back?
The Elfie's corpse.
Okay, so he's further up. He's probably like 20 feet ahead. Unless you want to get that close. If you want to get close enough to poke him, you can.
Out of that, is he like how far in the water?
He's like 20 feet in front of you. It looks like he had stepped from the trail, converted it to basically water, and he stepped into the water and fell like waist high or neck high or something like that.
If I quickly took lasso, it's sleight of hand to try to lasso him.
Yeah.
Sleight of hand.
He's not like reacting very much, so you'd only really need to roll like I'd say probably an 11's fair.
Come on, sleight of hand. Oh, 13.
Okay, so you lasso onto him, and it kind of goes around one arm and his neck, so you have a pretty good tug on him. And if you want to just pull him out of the water.
Yes.
So you give it a yank, and his torso comes up out of the water, revealing a big splosh of blood and guts as his waist down is just gone.
Oh,
Yes, I figured. We're honest.
I'm so glad it's not Tate. Oh god.
Yeah. What do you want to do now?
let's fucking leave. Let's leave. Let's go. Let's leave. Bye bye.
The torso
Let's
with
go.
him.
You're gonna bring it?
Yeah, he's bringing the torso with him. He's going to use that as bait.
Okay.
Ugh.
Like he's
Right.
going to tie off the
Kind
bottom
of-
so it's not just leaking everywhere.
Give Gelrith a kind of like awkward side eye, and then kind of look over at Zilana and be like, "Oh, ma," and then kind of do a little like, "What's up with that guy?" Oh.
So do me a favor and everybody roll in a initiative really quick.
Initiative.
This is why we needed to run.
Okay, hold on.
I need to see if I can find any.
The thought on the corpse here is to kind of like set him up so he's able to be seen, but anything that tries to attack him is just wasting its spells or stuff. So it's
Oh, I see. I just thought you wanted a keepsake, something to remind you of all these good times.
All the good times.
oh no, this guy was a cool dude. Running off like that, he deserves to die.
Yeah, I could see that.
But the more bodies and things we have as decoys, the better.
Boy, hey, Gilred, no judgment over here, man. And I look back over at Zilana. Oh.
Yeah, and as you look over your shoulder, you see emerging stealthily from the swamp and just starting to pitter-patter through the desert or the jungle floor, a huge crocodile, the likes of something you've never seen before. It is a giant monstrosity, probably bigger than a car, and maybe not quite that tall because they're shorter. But as you're dragging the corpse, the top half, it is racing after you.
Before we jump into combat, I would like to ask: would we be at least somewhat aware of how long we have left. My basic answer that I'm looking for is, will we have time to take a long rest before the initial battle with the bad guy, or no?
Right now, you have probably exhausted probably about 6 hours or so. Probably, yeah, about 6 hours of your day. So you still have enough time, because a long rest is 8 hours.
Okay, cool. I mainly ask just for your guys' knowledge. I, as a wizard, do not get my spell slots back until after a long rest. So if I use any spells that cause spell slot, I need to make sure that my character has a long rest. So.
And then also, can I do a perception check to see if that alligator is looking like angry, going after us, or looking at like the half elfie being like, "What are you doing taking
that would
half
be
my lunch away?"
because I mean you can see that it's coming after you guys. Roll an insight check if you want to try to see its purpose.
Just trying to see if I could toss Elfie back away from us.
Yeah,
Like
and then
sack
we
of
fucking
potatoes.
bolt.
Oh wait, sorry, I forgot. We keep on doing insight from the wrong. I have all these shiny dice and I want to use them.
Oh,
Okay,
trust
hold
me, I
on.
know the feeling. When we play in person and eventually.
Useful.
So
Okay, insight.
Nice.
so Movek, yeah, you can see
Oh, I know animals.
as you look back, its teeth on its left side is covered in the blood, and there's probably a little bit of guts hanging out to it as it had just eaten at Elfie's lower half. And he is definitely going back to finish his meal, but he has also seen at least 3, if not, actually, I don't know if you would have seen Zilana and Tate yet, as you guys are a little further back. Maybe Zilana. If you want to roll a stealth check, I don't know if you're trying to remain in the back, you can, but he's definitely seeing Movek and Gilrith, and he sees 2 more morsels.
I'm gonna make an executive decision and then grab Elfie
Total
from
20.
Yeah, he doesn't see you.
Gilrith, and I do a quick turn around, just swinging him around me in circles like a long arm throw.
Yep.
And I try to
you
toss
coat
him
everything
past,
around as you're swinging, just red and gore just is flying out, covering it, everything in this spinning streak, and then you can throw.
what am I doing? Just a strength
Yeah, just an athletics check.
check. Okay.
And then also just where are you trying to throw it? Straight ahead or left or right?
Kind of like, huh? Kind of
Skip it across the water.
Across the water.
That
What'd
would
you say?
make such a interesting
like a damn
comic.
In the direction of the gator across the water.
Yeah, it's gonna be going like past the gator, so not in like chomping distance, but like towards him, so he notices it, but
So, like,
farther
for
away
here?
from us. Oh, here we go. Wait, sorry. Oh, I am losing track of all these screens. Here we go. Yeah, so I'm gonna like, well, like kind of like past his face over like that direction. Hopefully that he like enjoys the smell of the rest of Elfie and then turns around
Okay.
to finish up his meal.
Yeah, go ahead and athletics, and
okay.
then
Athletics.
let's see. Yeah, so you toss it. Let's see. Oh. You see as Elfie's corpse, you're given this huge throw and it just flies over its head. It tries to reach up to snap at it through the air, just misses it barely, and it clatters off a tree branch and bounces into the water. And the gator turns and dives into the pool to eat the remains, giving you a little time if you want to do something else.
I say, sorry about your brunch, and then I turn around and I start running.
You had a
Oh, yeah.
35% chance of success, I deemed, and you got a 68. So that is...
They were just leading the way away from the swampy water.
Yeah, and Tate is just gonna follow you. By the way,
Yeah.
he doesn't even know what happened to Elfie really, and he's just like, "What happened? What happened?" He's chasing after you.
They're like, later. We'll tell you
Oh,
later. Let's fucking go.
He lived happily ever after. And I
We're
keep
going off
running.
screen, all the way off screen. Just like, bye, Zeke, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
He basically
Goodbye.
like grabs him and like
Stealth 101.
this way.
Okay, so you begin to move away from this swamp area. You can still hear the river going on off to your, I guess it'd be your left as you're heading probably more eastern, and you begin to hear the sound of a roaring waterfall approaching. And this one here in the picture, you can see as you emerge from into more of a clearing, and you're just basically standing here on top of this area. Down below, you see what looks to be a little village, not village, like a little hut. Let me put you on here. So you're basically all standing up here on top of a ledge, and then there's about 100-foot drop, and then down here you see someone's tent, and there's like a camp and a bunch of, I don't have minis for it, but there's like fish filleted and drying here on like hanging vines, and there's evidence of somebody living here for sure.
Oh, this is so much nicer than back there. Wow.
Why is
I
this people live here? What the fuck? Zalana's gone. She's gonna make a beeline for the tent.
Okay, so you have to get down the 100-foot drop if you want to go down there. Now you do see that big basin where the waterfall is splashing. It is a very clear, beautiful, crystal clear water pool, which you could even bathe in. It's that clean, and it looks to be deep enough. If you wanted to just swan dive or something, you could, and you'd be fine. There's no rapids at the bottom. It's just basically a giant, huge pool.
Since it's clear, can I see if there's any animals in the pool?
Just some big fish, just harmless fish. There's probably some turtles around. Just very calm wildlife, nothing threatening.
Sure, I'll make a swan dive in. Why not?
Okay.
You see her laughing the entire time as she's falling.
Just roll an athletics check for beautifulness of your swan dive.
Can you?
Can I do acrobatics instead?
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant anyways.
Show off you flip. It's probably not too bad.
Yeah.
Use your cannonball!
The fall is a little intimidating. It's 100 feet down, and I can say I've never done anything like that, so it would scare me for sure. But you hit the water. It's crystal clear, cool, refreshing after the heat of the jungle, and you just penetrate down into the water, probably 6 to 8 feet, and then you're able to just recover and get back up to the top, where you breathe in fresh, clear, clean air, and the ever-present roar of the waterfall behind you just sends rippling waves kind of through the pond.
Cool.
Hey, Tate, know how to swim?
I'm a chubby boy, I float, and then he cannonballs.
Get out. Just for story's sake, all my gear stayed on, right?
Yeah.
I didn't lose.
It's
the
just
sword
wet
or
now.
anything. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Cool.
Oh my gosh, cover up.
Like, what? You ain't never seen a body before? Fuck you.
I was talking to myself. Cover up my face and don't look. I'm a gentleman.
She's down there like, I'm sexy and I know it. Bow, bow, bow.
I am not as I slowly try to kind of climb down the side of the cliff to get a little bit lower because heights aren't really my thing, at least jumping off them. And then if I do decide to slip, I would just push off into the water.
Can I pull a ball bearing out of my bag and throw it at him to try to throw him off and make him fall in the water?
If you have a ball bearing, that's fine.
I think I have ball bearings.
So before Gilbert jumps, he's like, "What's the matter, big guy? Afraid of heights?"
I'm not afraid of heights. Don't be ridiculous. I'm afraid of falling. There's a big difference.
Touch him on the back, trying to like, "Don't worry, buddy, you'll be fine." Shove.
Jump on my back?
No, Movek.
Sorry, you're trying to push him off?
That it's kind of like that pat back. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Just pat, shove.
Oh, pat on the back, shove before I can start climbing. I see.
It's not very good. It's more of like just I don't know how well the shove will be. It's kind of like that pat in the bag. I don't know if he'll lose balance before he starts climbing down. Because I'm assuming he's like looking over the edge.
Damn. I think being a Goliath barbarian, I'm like, why'd you try to tickle my backside?
Can I try to
Unless
make a
you
throw
really-
with a ball bearing?
Unless he,
He's there
and
100 feet
I
up.
turn around and
Dang it.
and I
Can I roll with disadvantage?
slowly climb down.
Sure, see if you get a critical on a disadvantage.
Sure, why not? Let's try. Yeah, no way.
Tate kind of emerges and swims over to the rocks, kind of where you're at, and he shouts back up, "Hey, Movek! Gilreth, come on down, the water's warm!"
Oh, you tight.
Okay, man. Just fucking swan dives.
And your lizard folk body just kind of is perfectly aligned to do like this perfect needle nose dive into the water, and you just go all the way to the bottom, and it's just very, very clean looking, very elegant.
I look at him and hopefully I'm like a quarter of the way down and I look at him and I'm like, whoa! And I try to clap and I realize I just like side.
Like that. Full grip slide. Uh-oh.
And then I kick off the edge to get away from the wall as I fall.
Alrighty. Yeah,
You
I'm
must
not gonna make you roll it. So you fall into the water then?
Yeah, I fall into the water from a less high height.
Yes, you're
And,
not gonna take any damage unless like you want to, but there's no rocks under your fall, so you're able to hit the water. It probably slaps you, but apart from that, it's just gonna sting for a while. And
If you got a nat 1, that would just be a belly flop.
that would hurt.
So
So Zilana, are you like watching all this happening?
Actually, I was gonna go up and inspect the tent.
Okay, roll a Actually, you don't even need to roll a perception check. He was gonna sneak up on you if you were watching, but you would see, crouched down, probably right around here, is a man, a human man, and he's holding a Bowie knife, just like in the picture. And he's like crouched down in the bushes, like looking at you very warily.
Hi.
Who are
Hiya,
you?
buddy.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Who are you? What are you doing here?
I'm Zilana. Our shipwrecked.
You're shipwrecked. Mine did
Yes.
too, many moons ago.
How long have
Then
you
you were
been
being
here?
hunted as well, weren't you?
I was hunted, but I escaped. I've been here for 2 years, surviving in the jungle.
Good job.
Here, come out of the water. Come out of the water. And then he like stands up and starts motioning. He's wearing just like basically a loincloth type thing, and he motions for you to take him up to the tent.
Did the leather armor end up down this waterfall here?
This would have been downstream, so it probably would unless it got caught up. Yeah.
We ended up in the pee.
So, yeah, the leather armor would have got it's not visible, at least from what you can see.
So it got caught? Or down here?
You'd presume so. It doesn't, or maybe this guy took it. You don't know. You don't see
if
it.
he took it, that was the plan for that. If it did end up down here, I would have given it to him.
So he eyes you all dripping wet, and Tate's like actually taking off his leather armor that he had been wearing and just kind of like letting it sit down. He's got his crossbow kind of just within reach, and he's looking at the guy as he's trying to dry out his shirt. Who is this guy? Do we trust him? He's not an orc.
I'm Zalana. What's your name?
My name is Tarzodius.
That is an amazing and original name. Well done.
Absolutely.
Oh, dude, I love you.
Am I able to have I caught up like to see what's going on, or am I still like
Yeah, you'd probably be like,
unintelligible?
you'd just be getting up to the rocks, kind of, and you're seeing that there's now this fifth person here, is scantily
Oh.
clad, dark brown hair, dreads, and some of them, wearing a loincloth, barefoot, and he's got
Novak.
me, Tarzodius. And it
Oh,
like, stands up and he almost
brother.
has like a gorilla hunch, almost really long arms. I've been surviving in the jungle for 2 years, hiding from the Count.
I've been surviving in the jungle for 2 days. I don't know how to
Um,
count.
It's
Well-
only been a few hours.
Tarzonius, I hate to say this, but he's on the hunt again, and we all want to make it out of here alive. With 5 of us, we really could do this.
Wait, you're leading him here to my home?
Well, we would like to lead him away from your home, but if you could help us figure out how to kill him, we can try to
We've
get
been
we can
covering
get
our
off this
tracks.
island together. We've been covering our tracks since we left.
He like jumps down onto the rocks right next to you guys, and like doing the classic Tarzan crouch, then with just very weird faces and smelling the air, and he looks a little weird, but he like licks his finger and puts it in the air. I've been working on a plan. Maybe you can help me to free this jungle of the Count.
What were you thinking?
Well, I've been creating some items that can maybe help kill the Count or get rid of his castle, or I can't figure out how to leave the island yet. I figured the Count probably has a ship.
What items have you crafted?
Here, come with me. Come with me, and we can eat some fish. Then he goes up to the tent.
Gilroy will follow.
Yeah. Zalana will follow too.
Okay, so in the tent there is it's very
I'm gonna
sparse.
stay outside. Look around a little bit after, but you continue.
Yep. So you can see he's got like basically a campsite. It's been built over the couple years. Most everything's pretty like crudely made. Like there's rocks for chairs instead of anything built. There's a stone fire pit. There's like hewn wood poles that kind of lean together to make like lean-tos for storage with firewood. And there's a lot of fish that have just been like filleted, dried, stuff like that. It's probably his primary source of food is through fish. There's probably a little garden off to the side with some berries and other fruits. Inside the tent, there's a kind of grass straw bed, like a cot, and a bunch of bamboo crafted items. And here there's actually is a chair that he's made together with vine and bamboo, and of just a bunch of other stuff. Not too many personal items. He's got a couple weapons that he's made. There's a rack with spears made out of bamboo and rock tip, like javelins and stuff. And he pulls out from underneath the cot a box, and this looks to be maybe something more looted from one of the ship crashes that have occurred, but it's because it's a lot more finely made, and it has a dwarven rune on it, to which has like a magical seal, and he begins to unlock the code. And he stops in the middle and turns back around. How do I know the Count didn't send you? You're trying to sneak into my camp, aren't you?
Zalani is like, Zalana's like, no. We actually went as far as to free Ivan, and as proof of that, I have his sword. She's gonna take the sword off of her belt and show it to him.
Okay, roll a persuasion check with advantage.
Sweet. Persuasion. 17.
So he looks like a memory is kind of coming to him as he's remembering the name Ivan, the character for who this mute orc was, and he doesn't necessarily remember a sword, but he's looking at you, and there's just a trust there that he kind of realizes that, yeah, it doesn't make any sense that the Count would be sending you lot down here to try to kill him or get him. And he steps back forwards and looks at the short sword. Life would have been so much easier if I had a knife like this.
She puts the sword back on her belt and she offers him one of the daggers that she had taken. She goes, I know it's not a short sword, but here.
So he takes it, looks at it, balances it on his finger to see like the weight, crouches down really low, and so his eyes are right next to one of the rocks in the middle of the campfire in the hut, and then he taps it on the rock, listens to the echo, listens to the sword or the dagger, then stands up and says, "Thank you, Tarzodius like."
You're welcome. I'm glad I could help. And look, I have what she pulls out the second one. She's like, I have one too. We're twins.
A big smile kind of goes over his face. Tarzodius not talked to anybody in 2 years. Oh, he's talking to my ball.
Only one.
He doesn't know how to respond to that.
Like, great. Well, now you have somebody to talk to, and you have a friend. You have a friend in me. I promise. And we're going to get out of this, and we're going to get out of this alive. Thank you for the laugh, Michael. I heard that. We're going to get out of this alive. But we need to work together.
So he nods and turns around. He said, "Yes. How long have you been in jungle?"
Estimated about 8 hours now.
You have time. He gives 1 day. I've met one other survivor, but he died. So, and then he pulls out the dwarven chest and he starts to align the runes, which is kind of like a constellation type thing. And once he aligns the code, the box opens, revealing a couple things inside. He pulls out the first thing, and he looks from one person to the other. Gilreth is a lizard folk. But Movik, you look like a really barbaric.
And nice, yeah.
Did you
After
come?
I heard music, and by music I mean him tapping his new dagger. I was like, "What's that nifty jig?" And I walk over.
So he sees you, and I'm trying to think of what his perception of you guys, what he would give. I think Zelana, because of your interaction with him, he would probably give you the prettiest thing that he has, and so he gives you this coin, and it's almost like a medallion actually. It's about palm sized, I guess would be, so like 4 inches across, and it's made of a bronze. It's got a very elegant tree in it, and there is an archaic writing inscribed all around the edge and on the back. And then he gives it to you and he says, "You can have."
Can I try and read it?
Yes. You're a wizard. So I'm
proficient in Arcana, yeah.
It's not arcane. Well, you can roll Arcana to see what the magic imbued in this is, but it's a druidic type of writing. So you can roll history, I guess, if you wanted to try to read it, or you can roll Arcana if you want to try to see what it is.
Can I do both?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'll do history first. 17.
Okay, so for history, you can tell it's a very old druidic script, but you're able to read, and it says, I don't know if you're looking at the whole map or if you can see this.
I can see it, yeah.
Okay, so that's what it says in druidic. And your Arcana?
Oh, and Arcana. 11.
Okay, so you're not really sure what it does, but that if you incite that incantation, it will cause some sort of magic to unleash itself from the coin, and you're not sure exactly what it is, but it's probably some sort of creation magic.
Okay.
Can I glance over her shoulder and try to do an Arcana roll to be like, "Ooh, that's shiny. What? Oh," and try to take a look at it.
You can
as well. All right.
through some luck of the draw, you're not. I'm not sure how that happened, but in tribe,
I know that.
in your tribe, there was some witch doctor or something that knew something like this type of magic, and they've made their own types of things from your ancient Goliath village. And if you recite the incantation on whatever device it's put on, it will create an item. Like in this case, it'll create a giant tree wherever you put it while we're inciting that incantation.
I know that coin.
You
You
do?
put it down, and yeah, and then I can't read well, but you say the words, and then all of a sudden those words happen. So, hold on to it. It's nice and it's shiny, and it can help us.
She just looks absolutely floored. Because like from what he said to what she read, it makes sense, and she like doesn't know what to make of this whole exchange. She's just like, wow.
Tarzodius nods and says, "You like? You like?"
I love. Thank you.
He looks very, very, very happy. And then he pulls out another item, which is a little thing that fits in your hand. But this one he tosses to probably Gilrith since you're closer. And it is a little orange thing. And if you roll a history check or a investigation, either way.
All right, let's see here. Which one's better? Investigation's a 3. History's a 1. So investigation and history. So his history is better than his investigation.
Okay, so you know that
Like
this
he's
is a
checking
dwarven made, basically a firearm type of a thing. It's imbued with a fireball spell.
Yes.
He pulls it up and he says, "Only one shot. Use the other to cook dinner. Realized the bad mistake." So he tosses that to you. And then
Skeleton. This will do nicely.
to Movac, he pulls out something which you don't even know how it fits in this chest, but he pulls out something by the handle, and it just keeps pulling up and up and up until he reveals basically a giant spear. And then he throws it to you, but like flatwise, so it's not throwing a weapon at you, and so you can catch it. And he says, "This is the staff I made."
Oh, it's a big stick. I like it. It's pretty.
It's made
Done
of
well.
bamboo.
Stuff. I like it. Tarzadius. What can I say? I mean, you're bringing tears to my eyes with this stick that you gave me. That's cool.
I unfortunately didn't stat this, so he just gave you a stick.
I like this stick. I mean, it's really pretty. Did you name it?
Can I roll an insight check to see if he's being honest or if he's actually like kind of butthurt that he got something like that wasn't as cool as the rest of us?
Oh no, I'm pretty stoked. You have no idea how long it's been. So I mean, I don't have to look for a stick on the ground now. I have one.
And he jumps over doing his kind of like monkey jump, and points at where the handle is, and he says, "I even carved the inlay for the vine and rope for the handle. I spent 2 hours making this."
I give Tarzanius an awesome high five and a grin wink.
He does it, but with his foot.
Oh, perfect. And then I get on my back and I put my foot in the air and I say, "Come on, slap it back, brother."
He puts his forehead on your foot.
Oh, you dog, you. No, I'm not into that.
So then he goes back to the chest and he pulls out one more item, and this one is a necklace, and he puts it around his own neck, and he says, "This is for me. This is the entrance to the count's." He whispers, "Bedchamber. It's where the secret key to the ship is."
Kalania looks really uncomfortable. She's like, "Oh, Interesting.
You see, if you can get Count Zaroff out or kill him, I can go in and find out where he keeps the ship.
Well, he's going to be out for sure. There's no doubt about that. But that doesn't mean Isaac will be.
Tate looks depressed in the background, like he didn't get anything.
Is there
Don't
anything
worry-
special about the
don't worry,
sphere
little
that
buddy.
he got? That Movic got? Or is it just the sphere made of bamboo?
So there's the coin, the fireball, and then the spear.
Right, I was saying, was there anything special about that sphere, or is it just the
Can you
sphere?
give him like a? Can you make it like a +1 spear or something? Like, come on.
Okay, let's
Help
see.
him out.
What-
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But can I do an insight to see if there? I mean, if it looks just like a nice spear. I mean, it's well done, right?
Yes.
And there's a
Going to
rope
see if we
to
can
the
stare into-
handle.
So let me see what would
But
be a
I
good
look at
thing
I
for
look at my
this.
friends and I say, "Oh, guys, look! He put his heart and soul into this spear. I mean, don't disgrace the man, wondering if it's any fancier than it has to be. It's art. It's gorgeous. I love
It's
it."
beautiful.
Holds up
It's
the,
beautiful.
Gareth holds up the firearm. This will be very useful for me.
What?
You ever seen a fireball spell? He says with a big toothy grin.
So this
You just see Zalia's face just kind of drop. She's like, "Oh no, oh no, oh god."
Wait, Adrian, we're gonna say something. Don't want to cut you off.
yeah, it's going to give you a spell. So
Ooh.
you will have the ability to cast Bark Skin on yourself 3 charges per day. And Bark
Ooh.
Skin is, I'm looking at it right now, one moment. So you touch willing creatures the spell, but basically it would be yourself once you've attuned to it, and you will get a Barkskin's appearance, and your AC cannot be less than 16 regardless of what kind of armor that you're wearing. So I guess that's not
Very good.
terribly helpful, but if you drop the shield, you'll still have a 16 AC. Or it'd be 16 plus the shield?
Oh,
No,
an 18.
it's not. It's not an addition.
Okay, so yeah, if you didn't, if you wanted
It's
to
like
use
mage
your
armor.
Gilrith, I don't know what your AC. Sorry. This is a stick of great power and great beauty. It protects you in more ways than one, makes you strong like a tree, and also is fancy like a stick. Hold on to it. It could probably help you or someone else. But you know, they're all back trade backs, and I will take it back once we get off this island because I like it. And Tarzanius gave it to me, but you can hold it for now if you'd like.
She give it to Tate.
Tate looks
Nice.
like
And then Gillis like smiles, and I say,
No, sorry. I messed up your names. I mean Tate, behind you, Gilbert. Get out of the way. Tate, you, yes, little man. I'm talking to you. You want to hold my stick?
I need adult.
he like doesn't really want to, but he recognizes the value, and he like gingerly comes over and takes it, and it's like twice his size. Well, I guess I could take it. I guess it means I don't have to wear that wet armor any longer.
Why don't you give the armor to our new friend here?
The
Yes,
Tarz-
I like it.
Tarzodius like shakes his head and then goes over and pulls open a curtain, and there's a whole bunch of all types of armor. And he's like, no, it's itchy. Inside his closet, he has.
Can I take a look at your armor? Can I look at your itchy clothing, friend?
He's got studded leathers made out of crocodile hide. He's got chainmail armor. He's got a full breastplate, and then he's got a couple different types of shields. He has also a weapons rack with a bunch of long swords and spears.
Jesus.
I got all these from the crash.
Um,
There's been
You
several
are one hell of a
crashes.
scavenger. Wow. This is
mind if I
impressive.
borrow that itchy, stinky, shiny one that rhymes with mess late?
Oh, this one, the oven. Yes, you can have it. It actually might even fit
Yeah.
you.
The oven.
The oven.
I like the oven. I'm just gonna scrape. I'm gonna go over to the water and just clean out all the old turtle that I found inside.
Yeah, there's some gunk and garbage, and it's in otherwise pretty good condition. I think we have a random visitor.
God.
Do you mind if I pause you for a minute? I'll be right back.
No, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That in the back of your mind.
Hello, check.
No.
I am back. Can you hear me?
Yes. Welcome back.
Okay, thank you. My dad randomly stopped by and dropped off a couple things, so everyone's
Okay.
so yeah,
Nice.
unexpected. But let's see. Did everyone get a chance to take a quick break?
I did. I just got back.
Okay, awesome. So recapping, we got the 3 different items, and we were all talking about something or other.
Are we all back?
Yep,
Yes.
I think so. Right? Is Gilreth back?
Michael? You're lighting up, but we can't hear you. You're still lighting up saying you're talking, Michael, but we cannot
might-
hear you.
Yeah, if you want to just jump out and jump back in of the Discord.
Background noise or something?
Oh. Well,
Back, jump in. Let me begin.
so basically, Tarzodius, after giving out some of these different items, he's going to give you all additional like bed mats and stuff if you all want to take a rest here, or if you don't need to, that's fine too. Either way, but he's able to provide you with a hot meal of fish with a side of extra fish and little mashed fishes.
Fish on fish on fish. I love it.
Fish paste, my favorite. Love it. Thank you.
And he also has the garden, so there's also strawberries.
Ooh, strawberry.
But
I'm
he
gonna go ahead and stick to the strawberries, but thank you, bro.
Yeah, he serves them with the leaves and everything, all in a big salad. And it seems very excited that you're here and that maybe you have a chance to get off this island.
So, Tarzodius, you said something about a boat. Is you got any more information on that boat? Have you seen it? Huh?
Mine cut out, so I missed some information.
We just had dinner.
Yeah, we were just having dinner.
Yeah, he
That's it.
made fish and strawberries. And as soon as as soon as Movek brings up getting the ship, Tarzodius would say that when he and his crew had been shipwrecked here 2 years ago, it was the same thing. There was no lighthouse on, and there was a storm, and the ship was crushed upon the rocks of the reef. They were all found on the beach by the 2 orcs, Count Zaroff and Ivan, who the mute. And in the hall in the castle, Count Zaroff had told them about his ship, which was long since retired from when they came to the island, and it was buried beneath the castle in an ancient chamber. And so Tarzodius was wanting to go back there and basically use that ship, but in order to get in there, one would have to get past the Count, and he's not one to be underestimated.
So Tarzodius, I'm just wondering, how did you go about, like, why did he stop trying to find you, and what happened when you fought him last time? Did you see what he was like, able to do with his hands and his own skull stick? Not as nice as your stick. It was very cool. But he has one with skulls on it. Any idea what he could do with it, or how you got away?
Oh, I was able to escape because he thought he killed me. Lizzie says Papa is home.
Bye.
So, he thought he had killed me, but I faked my death essentially. And he didn't think I was worth harvesting, unlike the rest of my brothers.
Awesome, I got you. Yeah, my favorite trick in the book.
So, what is our plan then?
Yeah.
I think if we fight the count directly, he will, he's got those purple boom booms, and he will disintegrate us, like one of my older brothers. He lost his face that way.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah. Well, my friends are a little bit lost. They didn't know exactly what to say. So, me being the elegant one, I'll say boom booms are bad, and we don't like boom booms. No, like that. To pick up with exactly what I'm trying to convey.
Adrian,
Remove the
Yeah.
hand. Remove the
Can-
hand who can't cast spells.
can I roll some form of check to see how much, based off of my studies being a wizard, how much I would know about the casting abilities for a warlock? Like, is it based off of an item, like the wizard, like for the wizard class, or
Yeah.
is it something that they can do on their own? Like, can I roll a check to see how much like base information I know about a warlock as my character?
Yeah. I mean, as a player, do you know much about the warlock class? Like, would you be able to answer those questions just from having either played one or know about other people who've played one?
I could, but
So-
I don't want to.
Yep. So
I don't want to speak out of character.
nope, that's fine. There's your knowledge would be your character's knowledge for this.
Okay, so you don't want me to roll for that?
If you want to try to get specific information, but basically it's just gonna be what's in the player's handbook. So if you know much about warlocks, I don't mind if your character just has your knowledge. I'm not gonna say that's
Okay.
like I can't remember the word for it, but like out of player knowledge is fine for this specific, because your class is a wizard, so you would be exposed to different types of magic. So if you already
Yeah.
know the answer, like they've got 2 spell slots or something like that, that's basically fine. Like you would
Yeah.
know he's got limitations being a warlock. His pact comes from some elder being, which has been pretty much already explained from your history with him. You do know about his staff, which is some sort of thing created by his god or his patron. It gives him additional power, but that specifically you wouldn't know.
Gotcha. Okay. So Zolana's going to share kind of some of the basic information about a warlock. So they don't traditionally need a casting item. And she holds up her medallion that's around her neck, and she's like, I have to have this in order to cast my spells. Like, this is what I use. Wizards use components, or they use some form of item to channel their energy through, and this is mine. So, but he doesn't need to do that as a warlock because he struck a deal with a deity to get his powers. Mine comes through extensive knowledge and training. So there's a difference in the way our powers are done. So stripping him away from stuff will not hinder his powers. However, he can. There's limits to how many he can do for spells. But the blasty one that we saw against the scorpion, that's something he can do all the time.
Tarzodia seems to be nodding with interest, like he knows exactly what you're talking about.
Ovek has his mouth open pretty wide, and he's kind of drooling a little bit, and he's like, yes.
Basically, we take away his stick. It's not going to do much.
Okay, all right, I got you. Okay.
Tate,
Take away his hands, though.
No, and then he can only kick. I got you.
He'll still be able to cast his spells.
I have an idea, says Tate. How about we just kill him?
I like the way you
That's
think.
always the
Tatey
number one
boy.
thing. But if we could silence him, that would be a huge thing to do.
You mean like with a gag?
We could gag him. We could remove his
Close up
tongue.
the flare gun, essentially what it is, I'm assuming. As like, I could always shove this in his mouth.
He can get it in his mouth.
I think that if you were to
Last time you
shoot,
tried to get anything to him, he killed you.
I think you don't necessarily need to shoot his mouth with that thing for it to, hurt him.
Oh, no. But just the fact of his head exploding is just kind of satisfying from the inside out.
Do you mean to poison him?
You can't argue there, but the last time that you tried to poison him, he killed you.
I'm still here, aren't I? He didn't kill me.
Yeah, he did. He brought you back. You died.
Fell unconscious, not died.
You were gonna die.
Look. All right. Look. They're fish and turtles. I mean, look at them. They're amazing. That's all I'm saying. Look over there. It's cool. Sorry, what were you guys talking about?
Tarzodius is like trying to follow along what's going on. I think we should.
Again, if we rip out his throat, he won't be able to speak. Exactly.
Just remember that he's a war combatant. Long range and close range are his specialties.
Maybe.
Somebody say there was a boat, and can we not leave? Because I don't really like this island.
How about, says Tarzodius, you guys fight him in the jungle, and I'll go to the castle, and I'll find the boat and leave. And then I'll get an army, and then I'll come back and save you.
I
Can you
like
sail
it.
the boat on your own?
We've got plenty of time for that.
Here's the thing, is if Ivan is there, Ivan doesn't know you. And if Ivan's there and Ivan finds you, you might die.
I mean, I could always shank Ivan.
We're trying to save Ivan, not
We
kill
would
him.
like to save Ivan too. He deserves a life off this island just like we do. Do you think you've had two rough years? Imagine how many rough years he's had.
Like sits back, nodding. It makes sense.
How about we to run, and then maybe Zilana, you go with Tarzadius, and oh, never mind, that doesn't work.
She just kind of like waves Malbec over a little closer and whispers in his ear so Tarzanius can't hear. She's like, I don't want to be in a bedroom with him, so no.
No, I mean, yes. I mean, yes, you don't, and no, I know I know that. I was thinking maybe we could shoot a fireball after you got a ship, and then we could like tell you to save us. But you know, all for one and one for all, and such. So let's just stick together.
Tate stands up and stretches and he says, "Oh, it's been a heck of a day. I think I'm gonna go ahead and take a nap over by the campfire and just, rest up, and we can get an early start. We'll have a couple hours still, and we can set some traps for him and try to fight him, or if you'd want, we can go back to the castle. It's whatever you guys think is the best."
Both.
Set traps and go to the castle?
Might be the best way. Because if he decides to follow us.
Tarzanius, do you know the quickest route to get to the castle that isn't the route we took to get here?
He
The
pauses,
safest. The safest.
and then he he smiles.
Safe, quick.
I know how to get there, but I don't know if it's safe. And then he raises his eyebrows repeatedly.
You dog, you. Quit giving me the eye.
All I'm saying is, if you don't mind a little bit of danger, like there's alligators and big monsters, we can go up the river, and then it'll take us right up to the castle.
If we go up the river, we literally cross over the path we just made. And that's the path we wanted to take. I don't think upriver is the best idea.
Why don't we hit the coast, and then follow the coast back over along a roundabout way, and then hopefully Mr. Zorov will go ahead and just follow our trail, and by the time he gets to where this camp is, we'll be at his camp, the castle, wink wink, and we can take his boat, wink again, maybe.
I think out of all the ideas, that's the best one that I've heard, says Tate.
I agree.
We just need a boat, says Terzodius.
Dahlia raises her hand. I vote beach.
Oh,
Beach it is.
all right. Gilreth, here's my leather armor because wait, I don't have any. Here's some armor and a clipping of my hair. Kind of weird, but can you make a doll or something and put it in this tent like you were doing beforehand, and then maybe put some traps around it to keep him preoccupied in this area if he finds us here?
Survival, sleight of hand, or deception?
What are you trying to do?
Make a hair doll of me?
Make a kind of a dummy.
For what purpose? Just
Going
for
to make
fun?
a dummy, leave it in like an armored dummy. Leave it in the bed covered with, if there's a blanket, he's gonna cover it with a blanket, make it look like there's someone sleeping there.
Sure, you don't need a roll. You can just do it. That's fine.
Except for that time. And then
You just do an
jury
Aragorn
will then
fake hobbit bed.
And I lean over and I sprinkle a little bit of my hair on it. And I'm like, there we go, all done.
And then, if Tarzodius allows, gonna borrow that the spears on the rack there, and figure out a way to jury rig a trap of spears either launching across the room or dropping from the ceiling.
No, it's a tent ceiling, so there's not really that much room for spears.
Ooh, can we dig a hole in the tent in front of the entrance, or
You'd probably want to move the tent because it's on a big slab of rock.
we move the tent to a dirty area?
A softer patch.
Move it down to the patch of grass that's near the campfire.
Yeah, you could do
Because
that.
that's how tents typically would work, is they would
Right there.
traditionally be closer to the fire.
Tarzodius kind of grumbles, but he says it's fine. Just he doesn't want to sleep there with the ants.
You're not gonna sleep there ever again, my friend.
Seeing the setup that they were going to make for the dummy, Zalia looks over and she's like, "Do you think you can make a second one of those?"
He nods, and we'll make a second.
She takes down her hair from her bun, and that's when you realize it's almost down to her knees. It's really long, and she takes out the dagger and she cuts off the length of her hair to her shoulder, and she hands you the hair.
Move.
She did Mulan. It's just crash, and then gives you the length of hair.
Tarzodius jumps in and tries to grab a fistful.
Yeah.
So, how much time are you spending basically the night here at the campsite? While you're doing this, digging a pit, doing all this shenanigans, moving the tent. Are you wanting to basically stay here for the evening, or are you going to try to keep moving and go around to the beach, or what's your overall plan? Are you going to booby
We've got
trap
enough
this?
people to have someone move the tents. A couple people to start digging.
Can we I think it would be worthwhile to hold off on our long rest until we see if we come up across anything as we try to trek back. So maybe spend hours or whatever it takes to move that stuff over, or how long would it take?
Yeah, so I don't think any of you have actually taken any damage. So, moving
No.
the tent and setting up the little booby traps and stuff, that would only take maybe an hour to be able to do. But if you're trying to dig a pit trap, that would take more time.
Well, we do have a bunch of people who can help dig while Gilreth makes the dummies.
So you want to try to dig the pit trap?
With
Yeah.
4 people digging, how long would it take?
So I mean, you'd have to start, and then you'd find out that the area is pretty rocky. You would need to roll a survival check for probably like a DC 17, I'd say, to be able to get an area where you can get deep enough to make it really be impactful. And unless you move the tent out of the campsite into like somewhere off the map, then you'd probably have a better chance. But this whole area here is mostly like rock area.
There you go.
That works then. So
Yes. Thank God.
how deep are you wanting to dig it?
Deep, you got
Roughly
21.
how tall he was. Roughly how tall was he?
Like a 6 foot. That's probably gonna take you like 4 hours.
How tall was the orc?
6 feet.
He's about 6 feet. So we'd probably want to do.
8 foot,
We'd probably want to do at least 10
10 feet.
because
So
you got to
yes.
take in his arm.
Also think about that we want him to fall onto spikes, right? Onto
Yes.
like
All the
a
spears.
12 foot. How long would it take for a 12-foot drop?
Let's see. Probably that would take. Gosh, I can't see it taking anything less than like 8 hours.
Yeah.
Can I roll to be like can I rage and roll to dig
To do
faster?
it faster.
If you want to burn a rage, I'll take 2 hours off.
Okay. I'm gonna burn a rage.
We'll,
And then it takes 6 hours. So we have 10 hours until he is coming after us to head to the beach and then rest for 8 hours.
Yeah. I think that's going to be our best bet.
Is that fine?
Okay, so you basically traveled through the jungle up to this point about 8 hours. You're taking another 6 plus the 1, so it's like 7 hours here at the camp, which is 15 hours, right?
Oh, okay. So
And
15.
And then if you want to go hike to the beach, with Tarzodius's help, you can probably get there in.
So while we dig, we'll have Zalana take a rest.
I haven't lost any spell slots.
Okay, so you haven't used any spell slots. Gotcha. If you had, I was going to say that would have you rest.
Yeah,
So
so
it'd be 7.
So we would
So
have 9 hours
basically-
left before he would start coming for us.
9 hours
So-
left. And then
So let's do the dig. Let's do the pit. Let's set up the things in there. Let's use the total of 15 hours. Let's travel for an hour and then rotate. Do rotation for night like we've done in the past, because we don't want to suffer a point of exhaustion, and that's what we'll deal with for the entire day of fight. And that gives you disadvantage on every roll. We can't afford that.
oh, 6
Well,
hard,
If it helps, I can cast Alarm.
12.
And nearby us.
Can we get a gauge from Tarzodius how long it would take to get to just to like
kind of like halfway, like the fastest way, like halfway back.
Are you? What did
How
you go
far can we
along the
go? How
coast?
far can we go? How far could we go in like
An hour.
hour?
You'd still be in the jungle. He would say that he can probably get you guys to the beach if you wanted to go. It would take between 2 and 4 hours, depending on like how efficient you guys are all being. Survival. and then from the beach, if you were to kind of go back over to the castle, straight from the beach walking, it would probably be another. Let's see. You wouldn't be cutting through the jungle. You'd be going straight around. So it'd probably take another 8 hours on foot from the beach. Unless, and he would kind of look at you all with a smile. Unless you guys are fine with riding a monster.
Go on.
You just see Zelania, she just kind of gets really quiet, and then she throws her hands up in the air, and she's like, I've always wanted to do that!
Toilet grins. Tarzodius can I'm a scorpion master wrangler. And he like flexes his arms.
Oh yeah, I love
This
them.
makes whole things get even more fun.
If
Could
we
we
have,
also shave off a little bit of time if we make it 10 feet instead of 12 feet deep? Just wondering.
yeah, you can buy yourself another
Without-
hour.
Okay, so that gives us 10 hours.
Go
So
to the
let's,
beach 2 to 4 hours to get there, depending on survival, and you guys have been rolling well, so you might
Okay.
get on the low end.
Okay.
And then 8
I'm-
hours, if you can get a beast of burden, it would cut that time probably in half.
so let's, my vote is let's do that. Let's prepare the camp to hopefully trap him to stall us a little bit more time. Let's, and then we'll take the 2 to 4 hours. If we don't get there in 2 hours, we'll make a quick camp, do rotations, get in a full rest, so that way we're not exhausted, get to the beach, have him wrangle us a scorpion or two, and then we'll try to cut back on that time. That's my vote.
Yeah, I'm down. Is 10 feet deep enough to have somebody fall and get hurt on some spikes?
Yeah, just think of
For
if
sure.
you jumped off a railing from a not like a commercial building, but like just like if you were at someone's house and you jumped down the flight of steps, that's about 10 feet.
Okay, yeah, you'd get pretty messed up.
Yeah,
Okay.
especially if there's spikes at the bottom.
Oh yeah.
So 10 feet. So 10 feet, one rage. We have 10 hours left over. Let's go to the beach.
All right. So you need a survival.
Oh, survival.
Wow.
Hold on.
Let's see if we
He's-
can. Oh,
This is your territory, ain't it?
it is. So it's with advantage, I believe. Right.
Yep. Plus Tarzodius is familiar, so either way you'd get
There
advantage.
we go.
Woo! There we go. That's better.
Thank God for advantage.
Do we both get advantage because of Tarzonius's accompaniment?
What did you roll for? I missed it.
I haven't done it yet. Survival.
Oh no.
Advantage
what were you-
because
Advantage?
Yeah, what were you rolling for survival?
he's
What?
raging and digging the pit.
Oh.
Does he get it?
No,
does
just
he get
roll
advantage?
a Constitution saving throw for that with advantage. Because it's about effort for how long you can keep it going, and then the rage gives you advantage. Yeah, so you're just
Yes.
trucking along, like the pit's just getting deeper and deeper and deeper, and Tate is just kind of leaning on his shovel, watching you. He's like, "Yeah, look at us, it's getting so deep." And then the trap is basically set up. You have the spears all lined up in the bottom, wedged really strongly with the bottom of the rocks. You dig down deep enough to where there's basically like a mud pit underneath. You've reached water level. Tarzodius gives you all the weaponry that he has, and then you still, I think, have what Tate has his crossbow, and I think you had another spare, right? Or no?
I have my crossbow.
Okay, but you're not wanting to change those to traps or anything, so.
I've got a
Correct.
Okay.
crossbow.
Okay, so besides that, you wanted to, after this, are you just resting a little bit, or are you going to the ocean?
We're gonna
you're
use 2 hours to run towards the ocean as fast as
Yeah.
possible.
Yep.
We
and-
want to try to get to the beach in that 2 hours. And if we don't make it in 2 hours, at the 2 hour mark, we're setting up camp so we can get 8 hours worth of sleep on a
And
on an awareness
and
rotation.
how
Yeah, and all I need is a short rest, so that's good.
and then we said to get there, so it's 8 hours to get to the lagoon here, plus 1 hour because you spent time just chatting with him and talking with him. And then for digging the pit, we said it was what 8 hours, and then you rage, so -2, so 6 hours. So you're basically 15 hours after the pit's done, plus 2 hours to get to the beach. You're at 17 hours. And if you woke up at like 7 a.m. sunrise and then you left at like 7:30, that puts you at basically it's in the middle of the night, almost midnight.
Yeah, my calculations were that we had 10 hours after we were done digging the pit.
Yeah, that's what I had too. So that's where it was the 2 hours to walk, the 8 hours to rest, and then he is on his way, and we are backtracking on the beach.
Yep. And at that point, it would basically be about midnight, and you have 8 hours, I think, left before he starts tracking you.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
we make it to the beach.
Yep. So you do make it
For
to the
the
beach.
survival.
So
Okay, cool.
yeah.
Cool.
So
Yay.
with being at the beach, it's dark out. It's midnight. You hear the rolling waves. Is this where you want to take a rest, or are you wanting to just keep going?
Let's take a rest because we don't want to, like I said, we don't want to suffer exhaustion. So let's build a fire, take a rest. We'll have rotations for people keeping watch, so we can all get a full 8 hours rest.
Since my character is gonna get a rest anyway, he's setting up, like he's spending his 2 spell slots to set up 2 alarms because they don't require concentration. So he's setting one up like within a mile by the path to where it leads up to the castle, and then one but like within a mile by from the forest or the jungle from where they exit.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do a quick perception check to see if there's anything that we saw.
Yep, that's fine.
Oops, no, that's wrong. Here we go.
Don't forget to take it off advantage.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
One second.
Just click normal.
So
Yeah, you're
either one, you don't see any threats or anything. All the walking, all the digging, recovering from your exertion with your rage, you're just very like weary and you don't pay that much attention. But nothing does seem to attack you. You guys have gone on a fairly safe journey over here.
While Gilbreth is setting up the alarm spells, he is keeping an eye out for dangers.
Yep. I think with your survival check that you rolled earlier, you definitely, or your perception, whatever, you do see that there are lots of dangers in the jungle. There are lots of monsters, lots of gargantuan creatures. Everything of monster variety seems to be giant in this jungle. However, you are able to avoid it, and throughout the night, as you're hiking over from the campsite to the beach, you're able to avoid everything using kind of more less trudged paths. And so you get to the ocean, and I'm just going to use this page because it's what I have.
Ooh, nice.
And it's purple because it is morning.
Fancy.
Nighttime.
Yeah, it's in the middle of the night.
Mhm.
I need someone to volunteer for me.
I will.
Okay, roll 1d20 and then just add, after you roll it, add a +4.
15.
Perfect. That was
Oh wait, can I roll? Okay, anyway.
No, this is for Tarzodius. So he leaves just before dawn when everyone's still kind of sleeping. He disappears, and just about sunrise, as you guys are waking up, he comes riding in, and he's riding on a scorpion from the beach, and it seems to be kind of its pincers are tied together in front of it, and its scorpion is bent really deep down into so it's pointing straight backwards and not threatening anything, and he's just standing on top of it, riding it with these 2 reins in his one hand and his hair blowing in the wind behind him.
I put up my hands in a square and I go click click, and I'm like mental picture, keeping that one for the books.
Zalana, as soon as she wakes up and sees this, she springs to her feet. She's like, "This is amazing!" And she's like legitimately excited and happy that this is happening.
There is your hero for the day.
Nice.
I almost put out my drink.
I love that picture. So one scorpion, but it's a big one.
He's riding one big one. There's 4 of you, so plus him, so you can all squeeze up on the back of it, but it's gonna be just a bumpy ride.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Zalana's gonna climb up first. She doesn't care anymore. She's like, oh my god, I'm outside.
Put your arms around Tarzonius, I bet.
She kind of looks down. She's like, you bet I will. And she wrapped her arms around his waist.
Yep, he seems to be thoroughly enjoying it.
Oh, I bet.
Movek gets on and wraps his arms around the tail, turning backwards, and says, "It's okay. I have my own love."
Yep, the stinger is like bent into a curl so deep that it's just kind of sticking out, pointing away from you, but it's kind of sticking out from between your legs, and it's kind of weird looking.
Mm.
Zalana just looks over her shoulder and says, I can tell you're very excited.
God damn it. Gorin will help Tate up onto the scorpion before climbing up himself.
Okay.
Happen?
You're helping Tate? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yep. So Tate would ask actually if he can just ride on your shoulders because there's not so much room. I'm more comfortable with you than I am a scorpion, to be honest.
She's gonna
I
ride
didn't
on
hear
Movek.
what you said.
Oh, can I just ride on your shoulders? I don't really.
Of course, little man. Get up here. We're all family.
So he mounts you from you're sitting on your shoulders, and the journey begins, and you start just clattering down the beach. Tarzodius, every time the scorpion tries to go up to the rocks, he yanks on the rein on the right side really hard and steers back towards the river or towards the ocean. And every time he kind of goes a little bit too deep into the surf, he yanks on the left and kind of course corrects. Every time it jolts and rattles, and everything is just not fun. Meanwhile, we will cut to the Count. Let me put him on here. So it is morning. The Count, mounted upon a warg which he had captured, leaves the castle riding across the drawbridge, holding his skulls up high. It's emitting kind of the purplish light, lighting his direction as it's just before dawn, and he goes into the jungle.
Cheater.
The first trap that you have set, which was back, we'll go back to here. You had just made some sort of diversion with the armor and everything. He discards that trap and does not have any issues with it. With one bound, the warg leaps across the river and lands on the other side. Again, keep in mind everything in this jungle is giant, so it's like a dire wolf that he's riding. And he
What about my piss?
Doesn't even take any effect. He doesn't even smell it.
Oh,
but
all right.
But
Sure, you would smell it.
Fair question.
So he gets to the other side of the jungle and continues on. As he gets to the next step, he gets confused a little bit, and he chases after Elfie's corpse. He first sees the quicksand. He jumps down, and he's ha ha ha, and he shoots a big blast of purple energy into the sand, blowing apart the armor and causing just wet quicksand to fly everywhere. And he gets into kind of a rage as he realizes it was all a diversion. Remounting his warg.
It's actually quite satisfying.
Remounting his warg, he goes back onto the chase. His warg sniffing up a blood trail. Again, I don't know if you saw all those d20s that I rolled, but I pre-rolled all his investigation checks. And having rolled several really low ones, he goes into the swamp, and lo and behold, he finds the just bits and spatters of blood. He dismounts his warg, and then battle occurs. A ginormous crocodile launches out of the water, grabbing the warg by the neck, and there's a giant animal beast fight that begins. Count Zaroff takes the time and the diversion to escape on foot, leaving his work to die to the crocodile. And from there,
Nice.
it's about morning, and you guys are all riding on your scorpions, or your scorpion, and in the back of your mind, you hear the alarm going off. I don't know, describe what sound that is to you.
So it's a silent alarm. So it's like
Just
a pain
aware.
in his head.
It's like it's almost like in the back of your head. Then it's like you hear a very distant explosion kind of going off, just like a, and it causes you to like turn, and you just know that the alarm has gone off and triggered. He is almost to the glade, the waterfall camp, and you are making good time. You are probably about 2 to 3 hours away from your own crash site, which is coming up, and then from there it's just going to be about a 20 to 30 minute hike up back through the jungle back to the castle.
Cool.
My warning sign inside my head was "Ah!"
See,
That's
if
the
it was
theme music.
Tarzodius, it'd be oh.
Exactly. All
Along
right.
with just hearing, I believe I can fly.
Okay.
Yep, we can hear you now.
What we said a second ago there.
Oh, we were just joking about like the wardings. So back at the camp, let's see. So you were kind of in charge of digging and putting it in all together. So I just need one volunteer to roll the survival check, and you can roll with advantage.
I got it.
All right, go for it.
Yeah, I have bad survival.
Oh,
Okay. Now,
Survival with
14.
advantage.
You already did it. Yep, you're good.
if you can, I will have either Zilana or Movek. Which of you would like to roll for Zaroff?
I'll roll for Zaroff. Just a d20.
Yep. And then let's see. So investigation is intelligence.
my God.
So that is a 17. So he arrives to the pond. He does not jump into the waterfall. He actually scales down by hand, and it takes him probably a little bit longer than it took you guys to get down. But
I knew I liked Zaroff.
he gets to the encampment, looks around. He immediately notices the big kind of barren spot where the tent used to be, and that it's very clear weathering difference on the rock. Finds the tent down there, pokes at it carefully with his foot, kind of uncovers this kind of like was it leaf and branch covering, which dislodges it, opening up the 10-foot pole, smirks to himself and says, "Very clever." And then he turns around and begins to scour the area for your tracks, picks up your trail very quickly, and begins to chase after you.
Can I ask a quick question? Does he step backwards after he sees that? Because I left him a quite unexpected prize and present underneath 2 leaves right behind where he was going to. I dropped off a nice little
A deuce.
trap of my own.
You're not little. There is no way those are little.
It was, I mean,
Okay,
these are
Movek.
tropical leaves, they're huge.
Go ahead and roll a perception.
Right,
and for his perception, let's see, is a wisdom. So that's a +6 perception for him.
Roll a 1. Roll a 1.
Perception.
Just do /R space and then 1d4.
Yep, so that's
No,
a 17 plus 4 is 21. So he looks at the poop and then he just like, very clever, and then he just kind of kicks it from the leaf into the pit, and then your turd just spikes on one of your trap spikes.
Oh wait, I thought that was for my turd's perception and like stealth. I thought that was for my turd's stealthiness.
You're rolling for Zaroff.
Oh, dang
Your
it.
turn,
Well,
like, step on me, bro.
like, brah,
Bring it.
this direction, brah.
So,
okay.
you see looming before you the
Roll
castle. Up ahead, you see the looming tower of stone and rock as you approach out of the jungle. The drawbridge is raised, the portcullis is down, and silence is in the castle. Tarzodius is next to you.
Okay.
And actually, so is
ask him where's
Tate.
the boat.
It was Ivan, right?
Ivan was the other orc. Yes.
Yes. Hey, Ivan.
Is
Did
the
you miss
drawbridge
us?
down?
What'd you say?
Is the drawbridge down?
Nope, it is up.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
Are you?
calling over.
What'd you say?
He's calling over, hoping Ivan will hear. Hey, Ivan, did you miss us? Told you we would be back for you.
There's a grinding sound as the drawbridge begins to lower. The portcullis begins to raise with the chain link rolling back into its spiral.
Can I whisper real quick?
Sardodius, where's the boat? Is it through the drawbridge?
It's in his chamber, but you have to go down or something.
And it's like bed chamber.
And then
Awkward.
he like grins and has got this very like he really needs braces grin.
Who? Who does?
Tarzodius.
Oh, you dog, you.
And then you see Ivan appear from the edge of the castle, having just opened up the gates. He is wearing white, a different outfit. He's just wearing like a white jerkin, and he has a new sword clipped at his belt. However, it is a little bit longer. It looks more like a long sword. And then he holds up his hand in a greeting.
You ready to get out of this place?
He stands aside to let you in and nods.
Zalana's gonna hurry in, and she's gonna turn to Ivan and say, "When all of us are in, please close the gate. We have a way to get out of here."
So as soon as you all kind of pass, except for Tarzodius, Ivan pushes him back and then closes the gate. The
No,
portcullis
Ivan, we
drops
need
down.
him.
Tarzodius kind of starts screaming, "What are you doing? Let me in there!"
I before everybody got like walked through, I picked up a pile of dirt and I put it into my loincloth.
Okay.
It's just there, just for later. Don't you worry about that. All right.
I don't even know what to know right now.
I'm good with knowing. Ivan, we need him. Please, he's stuck just like the rest of us. We can all get out of here if we all work together. Please lower the gate.
Tarzodius is on the other side, like banging on it. "Let me in! Don't leave me! We had a deal! I'm gonna help you!" Now please roll a persuasion check.
Do I get to roll with advantage because he and I had kind of a connection earlier?
What do you tell him again?
You need to let him in. We're all in this together at this point. We all want to be free, and he knows how to get us out.
Okay, that will give you an advantage, that last part. He doesn't care about the first part, but the...
And I look at him and I give him a wink and I say, "And he has a boat."
Damn it!
That's perception.
Oh.
Yeah, persuasion.
Okay.
Good catch.
Sure.
Does he care
Aren't
about
you
a
glad I
boat?
caught
Did I say that? No. Oh.
Luckily,
He
you're
doesn't
drowned out by the screaming from Tarzodius, and he looks like he's about to like grumble in frustration, but then he cranks the lever down again, and the portcullis begins to lower. Tarzodius drops down onto his belly and just like rolls underneath it as soon as he's able, and gets up, and then he looks like he's about to punch Ivan. "You left me out there!"
Gareth will step in.
Zelania is instantly going to jump in the way and be like, "It was just a miscommunication.
So you
He
both
didn't
do.
know that you were with us. I'm so sorry."
Yeah,
Okay.
like he literally has to go through us to get to Ivan.
Yeah, so he doesn't do that because you're both quite intimidating, and he, number one, you're the lizard man, you're a little intimidating, and then he likes Zalana, so he doesn't try to push her around anyway. So he just kind of like looks like he's fuming, and then he begins to follow Tate and Movac, what is Movak doing actually?
Novak's kind of just scratching a little bit, being like, "Why I put this dirt in my pants?" Um,
I'm so
and
confused.
then he like looks around and he's like, "All right, yeah, don't hit him. He's like, he's all right. He's got like shiny eyes and they're red, so leave him be."
Yeah, his red eyes are gone still.
Oh,
Yeah, he's no longer controlled.
he's got nice hazel eyes. Just leave him be.
What I would like to do is, those two axes, those big axes we picked up prior to heading to the forest or the jungle.
Yeah.
Gilrith wants to create a swinging axe trap where they both like come swinging down and pass by each other, just beyond the portcullis.
Okay,
If
so
you guys
you're-
manage to, yeah.
Yeah, well,
So
you've got enough
basically,
time if you want to go for it. Tarzodius is going to be going straight into the hall, and Ivan's basically following after.
do I need to roll survival or?
Let's see. Survival would be jimmying, rigging something up so that it can swing on the ropes and everything. I think that's a little bit better than sleight of hand. So survival.
While he's doing that, Zalana's going to turn to Movek and be like, you guys come find me. Obviously, those two can't get along, and it seems like I can be a little bit of a peacekeeper here, so I'm going to go with that. And she takes off to make sure that while they're walking, she is in between them. Like, they are not allowed to get anywhere near each other.
Tate is actually going to stay outside with Gilrath, and even if he's not helping work, he's watching.
He's going to set up the heavy crossbow right here to where as soon as it opens, it's launching the arrow straight at him.
Okay, so I'm putting up another one there.
And then Movak is going to look towards Ivan and be like, Ivan, hold on. I've got a present for you. I heard Gilrith talking about how he could give your voice back. And I've tried to done that for you. And I grab into my loincloth and I take out the dirt that I have and I pile it on the ground and I pat it down and I say, and I put it in my hand, I write out with my fingers, hello.
Aww.
And I say,
Cute.
and I say, oh, what do you want to tell me? with a twinkle in my eye. Like completely failed every kind of persuasion check.
Yeah, roll a persuasion, but with advantage actually.
Oh, there we go. Hopefully.
Come on. Come on.
With advantage.
Tarzodius is not waiting for you guys, by the way. He's going up.
Beautiful. Oh yeah, I'm right on his heels.
Okay, so Ivan kind of stops as you call him out, and then he like looks from the two of the people going into the chamber. Kind of has a moment where he realizes he doesn't really care if they go in his boss's chamber anymore, and then he steps back over and looks at what you're doing, and just kind of observes.
Yeah. Are there still is there still a pile of gear and weaponry, or has
No.
that been cleaned up?
It's all cleaned up.
Hey, like he calls out, hey Ivan, can you bring any crossbows you can find?
I look over at him. I said, "Hey man, we're having a moment. I just put my dirt crotch on the floor." I said,
What did you write with it again?
No.
What did you write in the dirt? Was it hello?
Dirt
Hello. Winky smiley face.
So Ivan, like if as soon as you kind of give him a little bit of space, he looks at you with squinted eyes, and then he takes his boot and like scuffles the dirt, and then a moment later he like bends down a little bit, still looking at you very squinty eyed, and then he begins to draw on the dirt. Strange Goliath man.
I meant, special dirt. Sorry.
He like kicks it back to empty, and he says, "Thank you. And then then he dirts it over again and he writes, must leave. And then he erases it and writes in big letters, now. And then he puts 5 exclamation marks next to it.
Aw.
3
Meanwhile,
was enough.
in the chamber, you find Zaroff's chamber much like outside. It's got all sorts of hides all over the place. Inside there's only skulls inside, and there are dozens of skulls, all humanoid of some sort. This is like where his actual personal hunts have all resulted. And there is a little spiral staircase down, which is going to be in the corner. I'll just draw a square here. And Tarzodius goes straight to that and begins to descend.
At the door, I'm going to scream, guys, staircase in the corner, let's go. And then I'm going to follow
Hearing that,
Tarzonius down.
Gilbreth will grab Tate and follow.
And then Tate actually stops you really quick and he says, "Hey, can you do another alarm there? Or is it too late?"
Yes, he can. He's gonna put an alarm there.
See, I do have bright ideas. And then he
I
joins
do.
back.
He's gonna
I'm
like
the
kinda
little
ruffle
halfling
his
that
hair.
could.
So Gilbreth will like ruffle Tate's hair, like, good idea.
And then as you kind of all descend, Ivan now amongst you.
Wait. And also, before they head down, he's gonna put a fog cloud there as well.
Okay, how long does that last?
8 hours.
Okay. You're putting it in the chamber in the center hall or where?
Let me double check to see how long that lasts.
And then just tell me which room you want to put it in.
While he's doing that, I have a
Right as
question.
he's coming in, so he doesn't see all the different traps.
Oh, so here in the lobby? Or the...
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead, Zilana.
So while he's doing that, I have a question from a time point DM status. Gilbreth set an additional alarm. To my understanding, there was a second alarm that was set at the beach. That was from our path leading from the beach. Has that alarm gone off yet?
At this point, no. Because you were at the beach, and then that would have only taken you like 6 hours. So he's basically still in the jungle. He's essentially losing his ward right now in the fight with the crocodile and going on foot. So you're still well ahead of him.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. So when will you let us know when that first alarm trips from the camp from the
Yes.
the water site? Cool.
Yes.
Just to kind of get an idea of where he's at.
All right, and Movek grabs some of his crotch dirt.
Okay, so it can last up to 1 hour, it looks like.
So you're gonna hold it for now?
Yeah.
Okay, and then the crotch dirt you're doing what with? Are you just storing it again?
No, well, I'm storing half of it in a nice safe place. And then the other half, because we're in his chambers already, or we're going down to his chambers.
So Ivan is following, or he's in the chambers. Tarzodius is already going down the stairs into the lower level, and I'm going to use this spire over here as the next room because I don't have a room for it.
If we have a crossbow, hey, real quick, if we have another crossbow, if we can find another crossbow, he's going to set it up, point it at the door to the chambers.
So basically rigging all these traps for all the entrances.
Yes.
So if you're catching up, like Tate and you are probably just coming in, and Ivan and Movac are probably just going down the stairs. So if you want to catch up to him and try to grab him and talk to him, you can.
I hear Gilreth yelling after Ivan, and I yell ahead of me because he's right there, and I say, "Ivan, do you have another crossbow or anything around here for my friend back behind me?"
Ivan pauses, like he's about to start running down the stairs after he stops and looks at you, then reaches into his pocket and gets down and puts a bunch of dirt on the floor and starts to trace. Yes. And then he erases it, and he doesn't have as much dirt because you took half and half. And so he has to rewrite every word, and he's upstairs, and then he scoops up the dirt back into his pocket and starts to run back downstairs. Meanwhile,
my hands up in the air and I cheer and I say, "Crotch dirt!"
So where would it be upstairs?
That's all he said.
This,
it was upstairs.
Up here, or is there more?
So he had gone up
Did
last
Movac
time.
share any of that information though?
Yeah, I turn around and I say, crotch dirt. And then I look back at Gilrith and I say, hey, there's one upstairs, but I think, well, your traps haven't gone off, have they? I think we might have time, I guess, for you to go up on a solo mission to get a crossbow. But
Yeah.
maybe we should get into this boat and
Ta-
get the heck out of
Yeah.
here.
Tate like just takes off down the stairs too. It's like, what?
So real quick, how much wood is in this room here? Like, how much flammable objects?
In here? There are so many
Yes.
different hides and stuff. If you were to try to light it on fire, then yeah, all the furs would begin to burn, and that's mostly what all the furniture is just hides and furs all bolted onto each other, so that it's such a big stack that, and with like a big screw kind of keeping it all together, that all of that stuff would pretty much incinerate. Once everything has burned, then it's just stone walls, and there'd just be the bones and stone.
He's gonna call to Zilana and have her set grease right outside.
And Zalana's instantly going to respond with, if anything gets lit up there, you're giving away our position. And she keeps running.
Yeah, and then at this point, Sarzodius would have gotten to the bottom of the staircase where there's just this big, flat, faceless iron door, and he's like feeling all over it, trying to find some sort of mechanism. You can see that he's wearing nothing but a loincloth and his necklace, which has like some sort of key on it.
Can real quick. I would have seen about grabbing Tate's crossbow and setting it up, but like
Yeah, Tate would have given it to you at this
Yeah.
point. He's so excited to go down and see what the ship is that he
He would
gave
like-
it to you right away.
hidden it to where he could like jury rig it to where it'd go off as soon as someone entered the room here.
Yeah, for sure. So while you're doing that, Tarzodius.
And then he's gonna make a bolt down the stairs after setting that up.
So Tarzodius finds the key mechanism finally, and it took him probably maybe a minute to do it. So at this point, everyone could kind of have caught up, and he opens the door, which leads into an underground cavern chamber. And let's see.
So
By the way, with my crotch dirt, I peed on it and I wrote on the wall, Movek was here.
Of course you did.
It between all of the skulls and kind of on some of the skulls, all of his trophies, I was just kind of not like, I was kind of pissed that he was doing this to us, pun intended. So I peed on them with my crotch dirt. Okay, continue.
Nice. So basically, this underground cavern is kind of like a cove, but it's this very deep cove cave thing. So there's a body of water. There is a two-masted boat of orc make, and it is moored to a dock, and it looks to have been fairly well stocked.
Okay, I was gonna say that looks way scarier than what you just told me.
Yeah, no, that's I didn't clean it up first. I changed the page too soon. But essentially, from the rocky shores where you were marooned, somewhere off to the side here, there is a passageway which is either magically or physically concealed in some way. But there is like a cove that through this channel it goes back out onto the sea, and all you would have to do is be able to escape through the rocky reefs and the oncoming waves. But this time there's no storm.
hey Zilana, once everyone's like downstairs, he's gonna Gilrith is gonna ask Zilana if she can put a grease on those stairs.
Are you going to light it on fire?
No, it's just more of he tries to slip on like falls down the stairs. He slips and falls down them.
Good idea. Seeing as we finally got in, Zalana's like, okay, I'm going to leave you guys to getting the boat shit figured out. I'll be right back. And she's going to run up to the top of the stairs, and not like the first, second, or third stair, but like the fifth and sixth stair. She's going to cast grease, which covers a 10-foot area. So she'd probably get like the probably like 3 or 4 steps just completely coated in grease.
All right, perfect. So as you are returning back from this trap that you've now magically laid, you see that Ivan is working hard to get this boat back up to running speed. Every now and then he pauses, throws his dirt down on the ground, and draws something in the in the ground for Movac to read, and it's usually grab storage bin any points or grab crate over there, and then Tate will go on off and grab it. Gilworth is probably having to do some sort of not pre-flight inspection, but like a launch, like checking to make sure that the hull is seaworthy. So if you can roll a survival check, Gilworth, and then for loading it up, Movek, if you can roll not a strength, that would be a good skill for you. A
Strength is a great skill for a barbarian. I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, an athletics though. That's what I'm looking for. An athletics check, which is strength.
Athletic?
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
But like you will get your athletics bonus if you have any for loading it in. And then Zolana, if you can roll a investigation check for me as you're coming back down, or perception.
Okay, let me check
Use
and
that
see which one's
natural
better.
one, you know.
What does that even? Oh, okay. Wait, why does it do 2? Oh, with
Do you have
Okay.
advantage on?
yeah. Sorry. Well,
fine.
21 or 25.
That
It would be
that's
a
the
natural
first
20
one.
because that's the first one that you rolled.
It's true. Natural 20.
Perception is
Strong as
13.
F.
Okay. So, Movek, you are hastily grabbing everything that you need, especially with Tate helping you and tagging along. You're able to load everything up. Tarzodius is being basically useless, standing at the prow of the boat, just looking out, trying to strike a really cool pose. But he basically doesn't have anything that he knows what to do with this except that it's a ship. Gilrith, you probably go into the water and begin to look around. The ship looks fairly seaworthy. It might need some repairs, but you think you can get it at least out, and if you can make it past the reef, you might be able to sail off onto one of the next islands in the archipelago. Zilana, you notice that inside this chamber there is a huge amount of gold, chests lined and filled with gold and silver, all piled up onto one of the left piers. Well, it's a little bit tucked into the corner, but you see there's probably a small fortune in here, just in coins alone.
Is it Tiberius? Is that right?
Tarzodius?
Tarzodius. Tarzodius! She like shouts to get his
Tarzodius
attention.
definitely perks up.
She points towards the stack, like all the treasure and stuff like that. She's like, "Get this on the boat! Get as much as you can!"
Tarzodius jumps to attention and begins to work on loading the gold. And then it's at this moment that Gilrith, you hear in your mind that warning go off that the Count has found your camp back where Tarzodius lived.
He's made it to the beach.
No, he's at the site. He's at the waterfall.
Yeah, with the way the timeline actually would have worked, like you guys have made such good speed, and he did so badly on his roll set by the time he gets
so he just
to
made it to the campsite.
yeah, so he
right?
just found the pit trap and kicked the poop into the trap and all that.
Seems like he's
Poop
made
kick.
it.
Poop kick. Roll
So
for poop.
if after checking the boat, if he's got the time, he's gonna start loading that gold up as well.
Yep, for sure. You can grab all of it. You'd find that there is about 30,000 gold pieces equivalent.
Wow.
And
I
you
look
look
over at
behind you.
Gilrith and I say, "Did he step in it? I mean, I saw you do that little eye thing. Did he step in it or no?"
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. And I keep on going back to work.
Tarzodius kind of goes up
You hear
to...
Solania go. You hear Solana go. Just tell him yes, so that way it boosts his morale.
Yeah, I work a little bit slower.
My alarm spell doesn't really tell me if he stepped in it or not. It's just that he's entered the camp.
Solania, she's carrying up a like a thing of gold. She drops it down and she goes, "But I am a wizard. I have a poop sense. He stepped in it." She gives him a wink and just goes and grabs more stuff.
I look at her and I smile and I wink and I'm like, yes, I knew I would do my part.
As she jumps off the boat, you hear, "Proud of you." Keep going.
So as you
Is
are,
it just like gold here, or
what was it?
is it just gold and such, or do
Ivan,
you have any like items as well?
it's all these chests. Unless you want to take the time to dig through them, by the looks of it, it's just pure gold.
Take the shit and run.
So
Yeah.
you
Go through it after they're safely out of there.
yeah. So you'd basically once the ship is loaded, if you want to take everything, it'd probably take about an hour to load both the supplies and then also the gold on top of that would take another hour probably with the amount of chests that there are. And these are heavy things. Like if you figure it's like 50 pounds, it's just
a strength check.
Sure. You see if you can cut that down to half an hour. It's an athletics
Awesome.
check.
Athletics check.
Yeah,
Okay,
rage with advantage, I guess.
Rage with advantage. All right. Athletics.
Nice.
Know what it was? 24. Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, you are just hustling these chests back and forth. Everyone else is trying to do like a conveyor line to try to get it to go faster, but it's taking a while. Tarzodius mutters to himself that he can now afford to buy a whole new loincloth. And Tate is just thrilled about himself. I'm gonna buy my own ship. I'm gonna start a merchant fleet. I'm gonna be wealthy beyond my wildest dreams.
I just keep humming. He stepped in my poo. He stepped in my poo.
So it's just like, I just want a beer and a bath. I don't think I'm asking for too much at this point. Let's go.
Go to what's the orc's name again?
Ivan.
Gareth says to Ivan as he's like passing him a chest, or are like have all the preparations been completed and they're just doing the relay now?
Yep, you are about to
So, as he
launch.
passes him one of the chests, he's like, with this much, we should be able to get you fixed up, no problem.
He grunts, but you can tell that there's an excited air about him that you have never really seen before. And
Aw.
with that, the ship launches, leaving the dock behind. You break forth from the cove into the beating rapids, or the waves coming across the shore. Ocean spray coats the ship deck, and you're all soaked. And you begin to pilot expertly and deftly out around the rocks. The reef just up ahead, Ivan rolls out a big map, like basically a hide map with showing the reefs on the edge. And then you see him dexterously steering the ship in between this little channel to get around the reef. And behind you, you can see that the lighthouse is once again lit. And Ivan had done that before you guys had arrived.
Yay!
And
No.
and
Oh,
as
you.
as you see the final screen, if this were a movie, everything, the silhouette's kind of shrinking down into an ending circle. It pauses right before the screen goes black, and I'm going to have one of you roll a survival check with the ship. Is anyone
Alright,
trained with vehicles?
Anybody trained
I
with
am-
water vehicles?
Good with survival.
I've got a 4 to survival.
I
So
got a 0, and I'm not proficient in vehicles.
I've got a 3. Go for it.
All right, survival.
ooh,
Yes!
there you go.
Yes.
So you go make it around that last hidden reef and make it into the sunset, whichever it would be, and you leave this cursed island and the Count Zaroff far behind.
So meanwhile, with the count, I'm curious on how he's doing.
Yeah, where's he at? Has the bell gone off for the beach?
As you're leaving the reefs, yeah, the bell for the beach would be going off, and he would be basically tracking you from where the beach was and headed back to the castle at this point.
Can we see him from the ship?
If you wanted to clear the reefs, no. If you want to
Okay.
stay within the
Set
reefs,
off-
you can.
So before they set off from, like, set sail, I'm gonna say Gilreth had set the fog cloud just by the stairs, like not going into the grease trap itself, but setting it so, the fog cloud is covering the stairs and where the grease is. So when the count does arrive,
Okay. So I think so once he gets to the castle, I can tell you're curious to see what would happen to him in the background. So he gets up to the castle and he can see the drawbridge is up still, but You would not notice actually that the tower is lit because he's so focused on getting back to his castle and realizing that you're in his territory. So he would scale the wall, easily scale the wall, jump over to the corridor, skipping your crossbow traps. So he'd be basically about here, jumping over the wall, coming down the stairs. He goes inside the chamber, triggering your attack. His reflex saving throw to dodge the arrow fails, and you can roll light crossbows 1d8 or 1d6.
It's 1d8, I think.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll 1d8. So you do max
Nice.
damage. So you slam him right in the gut with this crossbow trap. He grunts in pain and then begins to charge forwards again into his chamber. He goes inside and realizes that there's this poop smear, or this, what is it? Did you pee or poop on it? I think you
I
peed.
peed.
So
I
there's this.
peed on the cracked soil. He knows the difference.
Yeah, it's a very distinctive yellow Goliath urine just coating his wall. And for this, I'll let you roll a nature check.
All right.
Will he know if it's pee?
Let's go ahead and see about a little bit of nature calling.
Yeah, you were able to get a lot drenched with that.
Oh, there you go. All right.
So he begins to descend the stairs, realizing that you guys may have be taking his ship. And when he gets to the staircase leading into the bottom, he passes his dexterity save on the grease. But he would actually, because of the fog cloud, he would have disadvantage.
Yeah.
So he fails because of the disadvantage. And he falls down. Let's see. If he's going all the way down the castle, that's probably at least 3 flights of stairs. So we'll give him 3d6 damage. So he batters himself pretty badly, and by the time he gets to the bottom, he's taken 20 points of damage, so he's at half health. And he curses your names because he sees his treasure that he won all through his warring career and his ship gone.
He only remembers my name because it's written on his roll.
You just hear
He's like, Movek and those others.
your ship is sailing away, and you just hear on the wind, "Movek, you dirty bastard!" And then the camera fades out. The end.
Yay! We survived! And we didn't have to fight. Like, that's actually really shocking.
Yeah,
That was crazy.
That was very interesting. I didn't expect that turnout. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That was so much fun. Thank you. That was a really different
and a
type of
Tarzan.
one shot.
yeah, this is a little wacky. If you want
I love it.
to if you want to see something really wacky, go watch the original movie, The Most Dangerous Game, and you'll see how far off this is from the actual story. But it was really fun, guys. Thank you so much for playing.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you.
For
For
that was
everybody,
awesome.
for
If you
everybody
want, you can
knows for
actually
the
pull them and
character.
continue these characters.
Well, you guys are welcome to level them up again. They'll be level 3, and you can run them in the other one-shots that I run. You'll just be really wealthy.
Yeah, so divided
So how
between
much money is that to split amongst the party here?
I think it was
divided
30,000.
between 30,000?
And
Was it?
Hold on.
How much did I say? I thought it was
heard
30.
I heard 3,000.
Yeah.
Oh no! It's
heard 30.
30,000 easily.
30. Okay,
Like
hold on.
this is the wealth of like dozens of villages that he sacked back in the day.
And just so we can get our new friend here his tongue back, how much is a greater restoration spell cost?
I want to say 500 gold off the top of my head, but I don't remember exactly.
So guys, to give you an idea, between all 6 of us, because technically there was 6 people that survived this, 5,000 gold apiece.
Okay.
And are Tate and the Tate and the orc gonna travel with them now?
Depending on what you guys want to use these characters for. Like I think Tate's NPC goals, he would like to start his own like shipping company, so most likely he'd become like a vendor NPC that you might see later.
Oh, definitely. Like they would totally be like helping him out with could totally see them helping him out with his stuff.
I'll tell you
And,
right
like-
now, though, Tarzodius, he's not gonna make a reappearance. I
Oh, that's
highly
fine,
doubt
but-
it.
Thank God.
He's gonna disappear, and he's gonna go
Huh?
find his long lost love, who happens to be named Jane or something like that.
Who's probably a tiefling, which is why he was attracted to Solana.
Yeah.
So Gilbert will actually use 500 of his own earnings from this treasure to help their new orc friend get himself back to.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
I want to see Ivan in future adventures if these three end up back together in another like one shot. But I want to see Ivan as a bard. I want to see him get his tongue back and be so happy that all he does is he goes around and he sings. And he sings about the adventures that he's had on the island and stuff like that.
That's fantastic.
That's
Yeah,
what I want
that sounds
Ivan
perfect.
to do.
And
So
Tate is our merchant friend that
And Tate is our
we're
merchant
helping
friend.
him build his new company.
And what have you guys? You guys probably gonna stay adventures and go off to the new world?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like I
Oh,
said,
well.
Gilbert is gonna spend like 500 of his own gold that he got from this to get Ivan his speech back, because he did promise that.
Yep. So he is gratefully becomes he can now talk, and it takes him a
Bard.
long time to kind of like actually find his voice, but once he does, let's see what happens.
Oh, and Solana's gonna give him his sword back
And he would take it back gratefully.
as like as like an exchange of friendship and that promise.
Yep. He would give you your coin back as well.
She would refuse to take it and give it and have him keep it as a token of their friendship.
Okay, and then he would probably over the next couple days on the ship, then he would probably actually using his orc sword carve or like whittle down a little hole in it and turn it into a necklace.
Aww,
Oh.
they're so cute. Love it.
And I lean over and I look at Arvin and I'm like, hey man, if this sword reminds you of, stuff you don't want to think about, you can always put it in my pocket and I'll sell it for you. But, wink, wink.
He reaches into his
This
own
is
pocket.
all while I'm peeing off the back of the balcony. Yes?
So the waters are fairly calm right now. So the ship isn't rocking at all, and as you're relieving yourself, he reaches into his own pocket and pulls out his dirt and puts it down on the banister and writes, "Thank you, my friend," and then scoops all the dirt and puts it back in his pocket.
You're very welcome, friend. Oh, jeez.
All right. Well, I think that might just be about it.
Yay! Thank you. This was
Awesome.
so much fun. This was a
Yeah.
really unique adventure. This was so cool.
Yeah, I definitely want to see these four together again. Like these three plus Ivan.
Right. Well, there will be opportunity. I'm
Yeah.
thinking there's so many games that I want to run and so many ideas that I have that are mostly off the wall like this one. But I think the next one that I kind of do want to run is going to be the higher level next one shot, which is going to probably be for levels, was it 5 to 8 or something like that? Because I think the last one that we ran with the mermaid, what was it called? The Mermaid's Errand, like the next one after that, I would kind of like to run, and then I also want to try those other one shot or sort of one shots. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that I want to do.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
we've got all the time in the world, so.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think the next game that I'll be able to put up, if I can prep done for it, I might be able to run one on Wednesday. Otherwise, it's going to be Friday or Sunday, I think.
What was the first day you said?
I think it's got to be either Wednesday, Friday, or Sunday is going to be the next game, just depending on how things kind of go out with my schedule.
Okay, I can't do Fridays, just for knowledge.
Yeah.
Fridays, I have a campaign I participate in.
And then this Wednesday, I believe we are continuing our desert trek with the Recounter Lounge crew.
Yes.
So Sunday,
Sunday's the 19th. I'm pretty sure that day is not gonna work now that I think about it. That's my daughter's birthday, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna do something pretty fun for her.
Aw.
Okay. So
That's right. I think we had that conversation. She and I have the same birthday. That's so funny.
happy birthday, Mackenzie, coming up.
Aw,
Yeah.
thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank
maybe
you.
Monday.
So far Mondays, normally my only commitments are pretty much Tuesday nights generally, but this coming Thursday I'm booked, and then Saturday, I think, don't we have a game with your group?
Yes. We're doing
yeah.
Pirates this weekend? Yes, Pirates is going to be this weekend as long as nothing comes up for anyone.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking.
Should be okay for me.
So yeah, we'll see. I'll post again in the group, and I'll try to run something. I think the stream might have worked, so I might, if the audio is good with it, I might put it up public if you guys don't care. I'm
Sure.
trying to still figure that out.
Oh,
Sure.
no. I
Oh,
should
no.
have agreed on so many things. Oh, God.
Nobody said the channel had to be G-rated. So.
No, it's fine. That
So.
sounds fine.
It was
So with that
um,
new level, Gilrith is now a full-fledged ranger with an actual class, like an actual subclass,
ooh.
and he also now has primeval awareness.
Nice.
I have a
Cool.
subclass, I think, which is Path of the Berserker. I don't know if that's a subclass.
You
Berserker
get
is a
to
subclass.
choose
You
your
don't have to level.
Oh, okay.
your, I think it's like spirit totem of the. You get something, I can't remember what it is.
Primal Path, Berserk. I don't know what that means. Friend. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well,
Well, thank you all, and thank you, Adrian. That was awesome. Had a ton of fun as per usual. It was great.
yes, well, we'll look forward to the next one. I appreciate you guys all playing with me. It's pretty awesome to finally have consistent people that I can play with. So, I appreciate you all.
Oh yeah, this is
So
super
what you can-
fun. This is great.
So if it's easier, if you, we end up wanting to use these characters again, what you can always do is you can just reuse this Roll20 page and just change the maps.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna actually run this specific one shot again, so I'm probably be
No, I
fine
mean
with
not this
changing
one
it.
shot, but like
Well, the thing is, it's got
if you
all
want
my
to use these
pages and stuff
characters.
in it.
If I'm not mistaken, there's a way to remove the maps and pages that they've created, right, babe?
Yeah, well, for most of them, I don't really want to in case I ever want to rerun them. But for this one,
Okay.
I'm probably not gonna rerun this one, so I wouldn't mind necessarily like scrapping this one, and that way I can keep the Roll20 for everything else.
Maps that you've made on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I can
So
Google it.
okay, so yeah, if you want,
Oh.
that way we can just like have the character sheets already up on Roll20 there.
Yep. So
And then